the promotional purpose that goes into legal writing like this. But as we'll see when we talk about blogging, there are some very specific reasons why this type of communication, even though it is a communication about a lawyer and a lawyer's services, is not subject to the attorney advertising rules. On the other hand, the infamous Chicagoland Life Short, Get a Divorce billboard campaign, we'd have no question that this type of communication about a lawyer or a lawyer's services is absolutely subject to the attorney advertising rules. But what about blogging? Blogging gets to be a closer case because of the overt amount of commercial interest, and as we'll see, the blurred line between what's a website and what's a quote-unquote blog. To the extent to which that line gets blurry, it can become something that is subject to the attorney advertising rules. And we'll look at that in a little more detail in a minute. And what of Twitter, the 140-character wonder, where you're limited by the limitations of the platform itself to very brief communication? Is legal-related content, communication about a lawyer or lawyer's services via Twitter? And someone asked a question about Pinterest earlier as well, and about whether it's okay to use Pinterest. A lot of the same analysis applies. It's very, you're talking about platforms that have inherent limitations that are built into them, and it's not a bug, it's actually a feature. I mean, it's something that, in the case of Twitter, it's the 140-character limitation, enables a whole different form of very brief communication. In the case of Pinterest, it's about the clipping of images and brief comments and even two-way communication via the comments. All of these things have their own limitations that create their own forms of communication, but ultimately they have to be looked at through the lens of what we're going to look at here shortly, the regulation of commercial speech, and whether that extends to that particular platform, and even more specifically, that use of that particular platform. So when you're looking at Twitter and the way people communicate with it, if you're using Twitter as a billboard, that's going to be a much different analysis than if you're using Twitter as a way of having a two-way communication, a dialogue with other people using these platforms. And what of Facebook? And a question just came in. One client wanted to communicate via Facebook, and I refused to do so. Was I right? And I don't know. I mean, actually, the question is going to be what form of communication. If a client wants to communicate via Facebook, you certainly wouldn't want to do that through public Facebook communications. And I don't know enough about Facebook's security to know whether it would make sense to do it via Facebook's private chat functionality. But I would probably be on your side as well and push people to communicate through